You ever walk into a greasy spoon diner on a rainy night in some forgotten corner of the Midwest, like Pine Ridge Junction, where the coffee's black as regret and the locals stare at their plates like they're hiding state secrets? Yeah, well, that's exactly where I found myself that evening, nursing a mug in the corner booth, trying to blend into the vinyl cracks while the storm hammered the windows like it had a grudge. I'm Jack Harlan, or at least that's the name on my fake Undercover for a stint that was supposed to be all shadows and whispers, tracking a low-level smuggling ring tied to the garage down the block. But then I saw her, Ellie Voss, the waitress with the name tag crooked like her smile, balancing trays on her left arm while her right hand stayed tucked under that faded apron, fingers curled tight, probably black and blue from whatever hell she'd been dodging at home. And just like that, the hook sank in deep because I've danced this dance before, brother, with my own sister back in '09, bruises she hid till they hit her for good, and the bastard who did it walked free, sipping buds at the corner bar while we buried her quiet. The place was humming that low buzz of small-town survival, forks scraping eggs, truckers jawing about hauls gone south, when the door banged open and the air sucked right out Troy Baxter, the kingpin mechanic who owned half the repair shops in Pine Ridge, strutting in like he owned the oxygen too. Roy wasn't just some grease monkey. Nah, he had his claws in the land deals, squeezing folks out of their plots to pave over for his empire. That diner included May Whitaker, the owner, had been fighting him off for months over some bogus eminent domain bullshit he cooked up with the county cronies. He spots Ellie right away, his smirk curling like smoke from a backfire, and slides onto a stool, snapping fingers for coffee like she's his damn valet. She moves quick, too quick, pouring with that shaky left hand. A drop hits the counter, barely a splash, and bam. His paw shoots out, clamps her good wrist like a vice, twisting just enough to make her freeze. That practice stillness you learn when fighting back means worse later. Watch it, darlin', he drawls, loud for the room. Or I'll make sure you can't hold a cup at all, hell. Maybe that's the plan. Get you out of my way so I can flip this shithole into parking lot. Nervous chuckles ripple out, heads duck low, because Roy's got the garage that fixes every rig in town, and crossing him means your truck sits dead till you pay tributor till he torches the title. Me? I'm gripping my mug so hard the ceramic bites back, heart thumping like a busted piston, because undercover means ghost, means eyes open but mouth shut, reporting on the crates of contraband slipping through his base. But Ellie's face, God, that flicker of raw hurt when she yanks free, muttering sorry, like it's her middle namite, rips the scab right off my sister's ghost. The one I couldn't save because I was too busy chasing badges and brothers in some outlaw club that preached loyalty but left the real wolves unchecked. I set the cup down slow, the clink cutting the hush like a gavel in a ghost town saloon, and leaned forward, voice gravel low, steady as the road after a skid. Maybe the trouble ain't her grip, Roy, maybe it's the limp dick grip you got on this town, choking folks out for a few extra bays. The room inhales, sharp forks hover. May's rag freezes mid-wipe and Roy swivels, eyes narrowing to slits, that smirk twisting sour. The fuck you say, stranger? You new blood, don't know shit about Pine Ridge rules. I don't flinch, just hold his stare, the kind that says I've stared down barrels in worse rain. Oh, I know enough no cowards like you hide behind wrenches and whispers, but they fold when a real shadow calls bluff. He puffs up, shoves off the stool, boots thudding tile like thunderclaps, finger jabbing my chest, last warning. Drifter, sit your ass or I'll, but I snag his wrist mid-air, twist just enough to grind bone on bone, without snapping. Lean in close so only he hears the rumble. Touch her again, and you'll answer to the reapers who ride harder than your threats. His eyes bulge, confusion cracking that bully mask Roy's used to fear folding easy. Not this quiet stealing. I let go slow, watching him rub the red bloom, stumbling back toward the door with a curse that hangs limp in the wet air. He bolts, bell jangling like a bad punchline, and the diner exhales collective, May muttering, Jesus, kid, you just painted a target bigger than his ego, while Ellie shoots me a look half terror, half spark, like she's seeing color in a black and white nightmare. That night lingers on me like exhaust fumes, pacing my motel room with the burner phone mocking from the nightstand. Mission logs half-typed about Roy's latest shipment drop. I shouldn't go back, hell. I should throttle up my ironhead at dawn and ghost this junction for good, but by next dusk, there I am, Same booth. Coffee going cold as I track Ellie's moves. That right hand still shadowed, but her shoulders a touch less bowed, like my metal cracked something loose. The storm's eased to mist. Neon humming pink lies against the glass. When Roy crashes back in, not alone this time flanked by two grease-smeared goons from his crew, the kind who jack tires and jack folks for fun, all hyped on his land-grab fever dream of turning May's spot into overflow for his empire. Conversations die fast, chairs creak uneasy, and Roy locks on Ellie like a hawk on roadkill, barking that laugh that sets teeth on edge. Hope you practiced pouring. Sweetheart won't want another spill, not when I'm this close to making this dump mine. She stiffens, pot trembling as she sidesteps, but he slams the counter hard enough the spoons rattle and snarls low, venom dripping. Or maybe I'll just finish what I started on that pretty wrist, teach you to sign over the deed without the sass. The goons chuckle, fists flexing casual, and it's like a fuse lights in my gut because this ain't just abuse, it's Roy's whole rotten core. The power plays that buried my sister under silence, the same ones choking Pine Ridge till folks like Ellie vanish quiet. I rise slow, boots scraping deliberate, the sound slicing the tension like a knife through fog, and the room pivot-size wide. Breaths held as I close the gap, shoulders filling the aisle like I'm carving space from his bullshit. Roy spots me, grin sharpening to fangs. You again? Thought I told you to hit the highway, hero. I stop inches off, voice a low growl that rolls like distant thunder, calm, but laced with that edge you feel before the punch. And I thought I told you enough, but looks like echoes bounce right off empty skulls. His goons shift, knuckles popping, but Roy leans in, breath sour with cheap whiskey, spitting. You think that jacket scares me? Some poser drifter playing tough? That's when I do it, peel the leather back deliberate, slow as a draw in a dust-up, letting the flicker of neon catch the stitched skull with wings unfurled, the Reaper's ride emblem that whispers death to anyone who's heard the tales of brothers who bury bones under blacktop. Gasps ripple out Reaper. Holy shit, forks clatter forgotten, and Roy's face drains ghost white, that smirk shattering like cheap glass, because in these parts, the Reapers ain't myth. They're the storm that rolls in for their own, and Roy's heard the stories guys like him ending up as gravel under club boots for less than this. His goons mutter, boss, let's bail. Edging back, but Roy's pride claws one last lunge, fist cocking wild, I'll end you, and I sidestep smooth. Grab his collar instead, yank him close enough his eyes cross on mine. Words ice cold and final. Lay off her, off this town, or the Reapers will ride your grave come dawn your land grabs, your bruises, all of it ends in a ditch. He thrashes, curses sputtering weak, but the fight's gone poof like air from a slashed tire, and he jerks free, stumbling out with his pack, doors slamming echoes of defeat, rain swallowing their taillights whole. The diner's alive then, a whoop of laughter breaking loose. May slaps the counter. Coffee's on me, y'all, 'cause that was better than pay-per-view. Folks clapping backs, whispering how the stranger with the death patch just redrew the map of Pine Ridge power. Ellie stands there, tray clutched like a shield, tears carving tracks, but her chin lifting slow, that hidden hand slipping free at last. Bandages stark under the lights, no more shadows, no more shrinking. We lock eyes across the hum, and later, out under the buzzing sign where mist clings like secrets, she steps close, voice a whisper frayed at edges. Why risk it all for me? A nobody in this nowhere. I shrug, rain beating on my collar, the weight of ghosts easing just a hair. Because I've been the nobody once. Watched one vanish 'cause no one spoke calm, let it spin again, not when I could throw the wrench. She nods, breath hitching, and murmurs. He'll slink back. You know guys like Roy always do, with lawyers or worse. I almost laugh, soft and wry. Maybe. But now the town's eyes are open, your scars too, and that's a chain he can't snap. Dawn hits pale and unforgiving, my bike rumbling curbside as I strap down, horizon calling with the mission's pull, risks stacking like storm clouds now that the patch is legend. Ellie's there on the steps, hair wild in the breeze, hand unhidden and unashamed. You leavin' without a fight? She asks, half joke, half hope. I throttle up, the roar drowning doubts. Fight's worth winning. Start with standing, you got this, Ellie. Don't let the bastards grind you small. She smiles then, real and ragged. waving as I roll out, Pine Ridge shrinking rear view. But that spark in her? It'll burn brighter than Roy's fading empire. And here's the rub that keeps me up nights, even now Roy did vanish for a spell. Garage quiet, land deals stalled. But whispers say he's regrouping, maybe lawyering up or calling in favors from the smuggling shadows I was chasing. Ellie? She's holding the line at the diner, scars out proud, turning heads from pity to nods of damn, she's tough. But was it justice, or just a spark in a powder keg? One man stand breaking a bully's grip, or just kicking the hornet's nest till it stings the whole town? Hell if I know that's the open wound of it. So hit me in the comments. Folks, what's your call? Would you have sat silent in that booth, or thrown down like the Reaper's own? Spill your stories of standing up, or the times silence cost too much air. This, if it hit home. Smash that bell, so we don't miss the next tale from the road. And remember, in Pine Ridge or your own backyard, seeing the hurt is half the fight. The rest? That's on us.